Welcome back to Gratcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Gratcast
We came back.
for season 4.
Like it or not, it's coming. Well,
we
I guess
are.
it's here. Where have you been for the last couple months, Andrea?
I've been hiding in a hole, or in a well, some could say.
That well's coming up all over the place.
It is. Actually, for the past few months, I've been recovering from getting hit by a car.
Oh, that's
So
right, you did get
I've
hit
been
by a car.
stuck on a couch for about a good 4 or 5 months. You know, very fun, very enlightening. Got a lot of Netflix time in. Got to edit a couple of books.
We could have done a whole show about you getting hit by that car.
Oh, the fun of getting hit by a car. Never say, it's okay to hit me. I'll get the insurance money. The insurance money does not just come up the next day to pay those medical bills.
No, I could have told you that one. It takes forever.
Yeah.
So you've been doing some editing?
I've been doing some editing. I met a writer who does some sci-fi, fiction, fantasy novels. So I did a couple of her books.
I had to share you. But it motivated me and got me jealous, so I had to start writing something. So I've been writing Dreamexia. It's taking me longer than it normally does to write a script.
That's a working title, everybody.
Yeah, that's a working title. What else? We should give everybody an update on The Perfect House. The Perfect House has gone into distribution in most of the territories around the world. I feel like there's a couple left that our sales agents are doing at the Berlin Festival that should be going on either right now or sometime later this month. But
Yes.
The Perfect House is in full distribution, and Blu-ray and full DVD is coming domestic too sometime this year. We're not sure yet. As soon as we know, we'll let you guys know.
Very wonderful news. So that movie, I guess we can say, has tackled all the territories. And we are ready to move on to the next project.
It's out in the world. We've let it go. Turn the page. Enter season 4. The making of Just Drive is what we're calling it.
So what else is new with you, Chris?
I got an agent. Yep, we got an agent now. We've got partnered
What
up.
kind of agent do you have?
Writer, director, producer, agency.
So it's not a talent agent. You're not going out and doing commercials now and everyone gets to see Chris's face everywhere.
Well, if I don't make him some money soon, he's probably going to be sending me out on some commercial auditions. Maybe I'll do better. No, but he's a business agent. You know, handles. Now, once we get to like contracts and things like this, we have a professional that's been there before, knows if we're getting pushed over the table or not, can stand up for us, and puts us in just a better position having representation than it does when you're out there and it's kind of the wild, wild west, literally.
And with that, we do have a new film that we're working on right now. I guess would it be called development or pre-production?
I'm trying to think of some witty combination of development, pre-production, and...
Pre-developed production?
Sure, that's a lot smoother than anything I was doing.
There we go. We're in pre-developed production right now on Just Drive, one of Chris's
Pre-developed
scripts.
production, that is pretty damn good. Yes, Just Drive, which we'll be talking about a little bit farther into the episode here, but getting
But with
back
that,
to...
we have our new executive producer on board.
Yes.
We've decided to bring a new member to the team, which is actually a co-production, because we're not having her become a Gratwick member. She has her own production company, so we're joining up in forces.
But she has the heart of a Gratwick member.
And she's got angel wings, just like her last name says. Brian Angel.
Yes, we've partnered up with Angel Baby Productions, and it's taken the next step forward. She's great. She brings a lot of passion and positive attitude to the team, and
A lot of experience. She's done tons of projects. She's wonderful.
yeah, it's been a connection that's definitely helped take the projects to the next step forward. And with everything we've got going on right now, and really the past year that we've been off the grid in regards to doing Gratcast episodes, we've kind of put the business pipeline in place to do things the right way and professional, and then we're taking the next step forward, and that's why we're ready to start sharing the experience again, because there's things to tell. There's stuff to follow, and
we're doing things a little differently this year. We're
Yes.
shaking it up.
Yes. We're going to have a format to Gratcast.
Ooh, that'll be exciting. If anyone's listened to the past 3 seasons, knowing what's coming next is kind of nice.
Structure is not our forte.
But we're trying. You do get points for effort.
And every week we're going to try and stick to the format so you guys know what to expect, and we can actually tell you what's coming in upcoming episodes of Gratcast. One of the first formats we're going to have in each episode is going to be a segment Andrea calls
Netflix Nuggets.
Netflix Nuggets.
Except that this week, we're going to be doing a movie review.
Yes.
That's not on Netflix yet. Just because we have to, and we kind of want to, and I want everything else to be more of a surprise, and I want to plan it more.
So what movie are we going to talk about this week?
This week we're going to talk about The Hunger Games 2.
And then going forward, what are we going to talk about?
Going forward, it's going to be those cute little things that you find on Netflix that either old movies that they haven't for some reason put on the recently added or new releases, but you know it hasn't been on there before. Or it's going to be shows and movies that we found that are just kind of little treasures that no one would have ever expected would actually be good, but it's not actually worth your time. Worth more than a 2-star that it gave it originally.
You mean like that time that we binge-watched Gossip Girl?
Yeah, I don't think Gossip Girl counts as a little nugget since most everyone else knew about it.
Okay, so we're not going to talk about the fact we binge-watched Gossip Girl.
We binge-watched Gossip Girl in like less than 2 weeks. Every episode.
Moving on, our next section is going to be Madden Moments. Madden Moments. It's where you get a recap of my Madden franchise that I used the Buffalo Bills on. Much to Andrea's dismay, Madden is my leisurely activity.
Yes,
I'm
it is.
so committed to Madden that we went and got the PS4 after our PS3 died, and it's basically a $500 football simulator. I play Madden, that's what I got the PS4 for. And I have a franchise that I am very passionate about, and I run my franchise like I run my production company, with hard, talented, loyal teammates. And we chase after the Super Bowl better than the real Bills do. We live broadcast the games for a week. We'll talk about it a little bit later in the Madden section on where you can watch those games a week. But right here, every single week, we're going to recap you on the week that was in the Gratwick Madden franchise.
Hey, Chris, when you're drafting your team, what's the most important thing you check out on your upcoming people?
Well, I like to look at the personality when I'm building my team, much
Would you
like
say
a production
very
company.
First thing you check out and pay for to see where their personality ranks?
No, it depends on position rating, but every single player you check the personality for. But Madden doesn't seem to think that there's a lot of positive football players out there because like a C personality is a gem when you're looking in the drafts. It's almost all Fs. They're all assholes. Madden thinks 95% of football players are assholes.
So sad.
Yeah.
But when you have a player full of happy guys like your team, I guess it's okay to take them to the Super Bowl.
That's why you got to dig through the gems. Well, we won the 2018 Super Bowl, and then started the season off 2018, as you'll find out, 1-5, and it was a tailspin. But the team's rebuilding. We're off to an exciting 2019 season, and you can find out more about it in our Madden recap. What's the next section that we're going to have each week, Andrea?
The next section is what we're going to call Making Just Drive.
In case you don't know, this section is going to be the meat and potatoes.
Pretty much. So from now on, we're going to be telling you what we've been doing each week, each month, to make sure that this film is getting made.
Yeah, we're going to open the books with Just Drive, more than we even did with The Perfect House, and share the entire experience. It's a phrase we're coining as social filmmaking, and we'll be talking about exactly what that is and what that involves in the making of the Just Drive section coming up in today's episode. But know that each episode, that's going to be the main core of Gratcast, is Season 4 is surrounding the making of Just Drive. And then finally, now that we know what we're doing and we have a format, we can actually wrap up each episode with a little hint of what to look forward to.
Yay!
Organization. So let's get started right away with our first section. We're going to call it this week temporarily our movie review section, but going forward, this will be
Netflix Nuggets.
Netflix Nuggets.
Hunger Games 2. We watched it. Andrea, what were your thoughts?
I liked it. I haven't read the books, though. I'm just going to lay that out. I know a lot of people read the books beforehand, so they get all concerned with shit that's not included or whatever. I waited to see the movie because I saw the first movie and still hadn't read the books. So I actually enjoyed it. I was surprised because I refused to hear the little spoilers that they actually made them go back. I didn't think that was fair. I liked the responses from the contestants having to go back, that they were all just as equally pissed off by the idea.
I started to like it, and I liked where it could have went, and then it went somewhere else, and I definitely didn't like it, and it bothered me. And maybe these reasons are going to make me a creative snob. Maybe that's what I've become, but that's what it is. Sweeping motions to start with. I really thought when they brought back all the previous contestants for the new Hunger Games, I thought they were all going to band together and just refuse to fight each other, and that was going to start a revolution. And that would have been more interesting to me if they just decided, no, we're not going to kill each other. But more importantly, the two creative issues I have is that I like the idea of where the second one started out as, where they had to go around and face all these different districts and stuff, and the fallout and how they're all on the tipping point of revolution. And if the whole episode for me would have been them going on this tour around the whole district, so you would have actually got to see the whole Hunger Games world, and then it led up to maybe the next Hunger Games when you know now each little district and they were at their tipping points, I think that would have been a more interesting and a more complete second episode. But they were heading down that road. Then all of a sudden in the middle, it was, boom, a year's gone by. It's time for Hunger Games 2. Let's get it on. And from that point forward, to me, it was just basically the same as the first one with different scenarios, but the general motions and the general outcomes were the same as the first one. And then it had totally incomplete ending. Then it was just boom, all of a sudden it's over. And that was kind of shitty. I understand that's what the book does and all this other stuff, but
to lead up to the next film.
One of the first things I've been told, because we have a pretty big franchise that I have that we've been shopping around, or at least not shopping around, but showing people and talking about. And the most common feedback I get from professionals is when you make a franchise, every single episode or every single sequel has to be its own movie. It has to have its own start and its own middle and its own finish. You can't leave people hanging on a cliff to come back and pay $14 at the movie theater to see what happens next. That's kind of considered...
It's not like the season cliffhanger.
It's kind of considered bad business in the feature film. At least it used to be, from what I was taught and told, to charge somebody now full price for a movie ticket, and you're not even giving them a complete story. It ends. So I understand you're setting up a trilogy, but it's been done before, and it's been done throughout Hollywood history. You make a complete sequel that has its own story involved in it. And I really think if you would have spent the whole year or the whole feature on that year tour, it would have given you a more complete story wrapping up into the next Hunger Games, and that could have been your whole third one.
So you wanted them to split the book up into two books?
If that's... I don't know anything about the book.
Politics building up to it, and then...
I don't know.
Because I'm sure that's what it was, is they were trying to do the book. And the book is big. I mean, it's very long.
Yeah, I haven't read the book, and it doesn't matter to me about the book, and it makes my position, I think, even more meaningful because of the fact I'm the movie goer that you're now appealing to with the franchise that doesn't know about the book, and you gave me an incomplete story. But either way, the book obviously has this year where they go on the tour, and then the Hunger Games 2 starts, and that's where it's
all the drama of that.
And that's really where the revolution starts. So I feel like you would have had a much better way of going about it by taking that year, whether it's part of the book or whatever it is, and making that year-long tour a full feature in itself where you get to see every single district and the politics of what's going on and the society breaking down and ready for revolution again. And instead, they sped through that year just to get to another Hunger Games because it's the Hunger Games franchise, so every installment has to have a Hunger Games that takes place. And that's where I think they forced the issue.
You know, I feel like this could have been one that should have almost been turned into a TV series. Instead, like the Game of Thrones. They're very long books
with
a lot of story to it. So if you wanted to do it justice, Like, people really enjoyed it, and it's not a Twilight series. Twilight didn't have much to the story, each book itself, so it was easier to do a movie about, but this has so many different levels and so many different characters. Maybe they should have just decided, let's just put this on HBO and make a deal with them instead, or one of the many TV stations we own, and keep everyone for 24 episodes for each book instead.
Yeah, I could see that, but in this
Then you could have had your 12 episodes of politics, and then we could have gotten to the game for the next 12.
In this day and age, the idea of only having a trilogy is pretty much dead and gone. They want franchises to keep putting the installments out, which, if you're going to turn books into feature films, is actually in the benefit of that transition now, because you can take your time. People want the franchise to last longer.
In theory, you can.
You don't have to have 3 and it's over. Like, I'm sure, even if it is set for 3 and it's over, they're going to want the Hunger Games to find a way to continue on, just like Star Wars, they wanted another trilogy and whatever. So if that's the case, then just because there's 3 Hunger Game books doesn't mean there has to be 3 Hunger Game movies. You could have took your time and did a whole...
Kind of how Peter Jackson did with The Hobbit. Like, it's one book, but he split it up into 3 movies.
And that might be the
complete opposite, because they are so slow
the extreme,
sometimes.
Yeah, the extreme counterbalance to that of somebody taking it too far.
Yes.
Yes, they walk.
Which, yes, we did see The Hobbit Part 2, and that's the opposite of what we were expecting.
They walked. You know it. I know it. We all know it. They walked. Moving on. Is that any last thoughts on the Hunger Games?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was an adventure action movie. It was nice.
For me, it was Hunger Games 2, The Cash Grab. Now we turn our attention to my favorite news section.
Madden Moments.
Madden Moments is a recap of my Madden franchise where I'm documenting the whole franchise. This is my leisure activity. I'm also turning it into part of our content. So 4 games a week, I play live. I stream them on our Twitch channel, which is Gratwick Films on Twitch. If you follow us on the Twitch channel, you can get notified whenever the games go live, so you can watch the game. If not, the games are archived on our YouTube channel under Madden Moments. And every Monday, you can find a 2-minute recap of the 4 games played from the week. So you don't have to watch the bullshit, the 45 minutes, all that stuff. You can watch the 2-minute recap and highlight show. But to get you started on the 2019 season, you need to know what happened in the 2018 offseason. So I'm going to let Andrea give you the recap of the 2018 offseason.
Just 2 years removed from winning the Super Bowl, the 2018 season comes to a disappointing close, as the 1-5 start proves to be too much to overcome for a Bills team that finds itself in transition. The Bills have some major questions heading into the offseason, specifically about the offensive line, where the notoriously frugal front office has declined to re-sign 2 perennial Pro Bowlers on the right side of the line. The linebacking group also needs to be addressed after getting run over for much of the season. With more than $30 million in cap space and 3 first-round picks, the Bills went right to work addressing those needs with the free agent signings of linebacker Demetrius Leon and tackle Corey Matusik. The Bills further fortified their line with first-round pick and future star Drew Gabriel, before using the last of their 3 first-round picks on the talented 6'4" wide receiver Jameis Grimble out of North Carolina. After the surprise retirement of C.J. Spiller during the offseason, the Bills found themselves with a completely new backfield for the start of 2019. Connor Falcon enters the season as the #1 quarterback, and fan favorite Bo Sidem gets his chance to carry the workload as the team's top back. The Bills finish the preseason undefeated and relatively healthy as they head into their season opener at Cincinnati.
The 2019 Madden season's just getting started, so join us on Gratwick Films at Twitch or YouTube and subscribe to the full season. Now, let's turn our attention to the meat and potatoes, the making of Just Drive, the reason you're all listening to Gratcast.
So what has Chris gotten us into this time, everybody? We did the horror movie. We did the cross-country tour. We now have the full distribution for the film.
The cross-country tour, the Perfect House Tour, also known as the TPH Tour, has been edited into a documentary that is now free on YouTube. Just search TPH Tour on YouTube, and it will come right up. What a train wreck. So much for a cheap plug. That turned into a cheap stumble. The making of Just Drive. It's going to be a lot smoother than the making of The Perfect House was. I promise.
Just remember, this is the first episode back for season 4, everybody, so like everything, it's gonna take a few steps before we get there.
Yes, we're recording this episode while we walk around the neighborhood, so it's a little rocky. I don't think we exercise. So the making of Just Drive is going to be an experience in social filmmaking. Now,
What is social filmmaking, Chris?
There's this other camp that has decided social filmmaking is a bunch of different jackasses all shooting their own scene and then throwing it together for some disconglomerated chaos of all different people's minds.
Like a collage of video?
Yes, a collage of videos that does not tell a cohesive story.
Okay, and where do people find out about that weird business?
Who cares? We're talking about what social filmmaking is for us.
And what is social filmmaking for us, Chris?
We have decided that social filmmaking is going to be social.
No way.
Yes. The entire experience of making our next film is going to be shared as we make the film. We're going to give you open access. We want you to be involved. We want you to take part in the process. And as we share what we're doing, how we're going to do it, and where it's going to go, we want your feedback. We want to have a discussion about it. Let's find the best way to make movies for everybody going forward and share it.
Now, see, this is something we did somewhat with The Perfect House. Because you started Gratcast about the same time we had finished taping The Perfect House. We had just gotten it shot. We were almost in the end of editing. What should have been the end of editing. And what should have been the beginning of distribution. Before we even did The Perfect House tour. But we were so involved in what we were doing at that point that we weren't able to let everyone in on what was actually happening while it was happening.
We were finding our voice as we were talking. And as we were going along, we were finding out what we wanted to do and how we wanted to do it and what could be done. Because a lot of the things we did were discovered along the way and were just coming into their own along the way.
Yeah, we found a lot of new technology that was not quite at its tip-top shape yet, but is now finally ready to go bigger.
But at the same time, we were also finding our way out of a dark room by feeling the walls and stumbling around looking for a door. So trying to share that was sharing a big black screen. We didn't know ourselves what was coming, what was next, what we were doing, what was happening. And it was hard to document the chaos when you were in the middle of trying to understand and sort out the chaos. Yeah. And that's something that this time around we're prepared for. We know what to expect, and we know
how to avoid some of it.
We've done our trial and error. We know how to share the experience of what we're learning as we're learning it, and we also know how to do what we need to do to make the best film possible. And from beginning to end, that's why we're going to open up the books with Just Drive.
Just Drive is the new film that Chris wrote. It's a contained thriller, all takes place inside of a limousine, and it's something that we are planning on shooting in, I guess, our fashion is what we get to say it now, faster than anyone else would expect. It's superhuman speeds, but with amazing quality that will knock everyone's fucking socks off.
Yeah, that's a fair way to put it.
Yep, and I dropped the F-bomb, everybody. You will find I will do that. But I've done so well so far.
That's Gratcast. We make the rules here. Yeah, Just Drive is about the dark side of human ambition, and it kind of evolved from the experiences and the places that we went through after we finished making the perfect house. At certain points, we just felt like prisoners and hostages on our own couch, and instead of telling a story about an angry guy on a couch, it was much more dramatic and, I guess, appealing to tell a story about a guy that's a prisoner in a luxurious lifestyle and a limousine and faces the same emotional turmoil and unrest that a guy on a couch might feel as well, but told through a more dramatic eye, I guess.
I kind of like to think of it like the saying, be careful what you wish for, because you might get it. This is when the guy has gotten it and realized he really shouldn't have wished for it. Like, you get everything you want, and it's not life just sucks, it's you can't get away from it, because life doesn't want to let you get away anymore. Like, it's got its clutches into you.
It's a very, I guess, the simplest way to put it in a literal and figurative sense is the path to hell is paved with good intentions. Really? But
there you go. Very uplifting. We're into comedy, if you guys can't tell.
it's gonna have everything in it. It's gonna be a suspense thriller, and it's gonna have, I guess the tagline is the best way to put it. Sex, drugs, and repentance. If you need to know more, I don't know what to tell you. But the experience of it is going to be the key part that we're going to be focusing on Gratcast and making the film. And a big part of that is our business plan and our business model. How are we going to pay for this movie? Who's going to pay for this movie? What are we going to do with it once it's done? Where's it going to go for distribution? How are you guys going to make the movie? Where are you guys going to make the movie? Who's going to be in your stupid movie? And
How are you going to shoot a movie inside of a limo?
Yeah, that's
the whole thing takes place inside of a limo. Like, you aren't outside of the limo.
Never exit the limo at any given time. And the limo is going to be on a green screen on a sound stage, so the limo's really never going to be moving either. Yet it's going to be fascinating, the effects and the amazing lighting techniques that we're going to be using to make outside the limo a visually
stimulating environment.
Yes, a visually stimulating environment that adds to the story in a very unique way. And you're going to find out about all that stuff. But the key to how that's going to happen is the business plan, is the business model. And the business model, we call it here at Gratwick Films, we call it social filmmaking. And it means sharing the story of what we're doing as we're doing it. The fun stuff, the bad stuff, the itsy bitsy pieces, all of it.
The actual production stuff.
We want it to almost be its own reality show where the creators and the film and the production team become people you're rooting for and emotionally invested in seeing their success and their creativity and the results of the team that comes together. When you follow a sports team, the week-to-week things that go on, the practices, all these great things that go on, you want to see the team excel and do good and win on the field. And that's kind of the access we're giving with our filmmaking process, is you get to see the hard work that goes into it and see the lead up to the Super Bowl, which is us on set doing what we do, making movies.
Well, one thing with that is, let's just go ahead and tell them how they'll be able to see this stuff. Like, we can say you'll be able to see it, but where can they actually go to see this?
Our YouTube channel is really going to be home base for a lot of the video stuff we're doing. And as a cheap plug, we really would like to shoot our film at the YouTube studio so it can add a whole nother layer of social element into our filmmaking. But before we can even think about that happening, we have to get about 10,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel.
Okay, wait. Now explain, you want to shoot at YouTube? Because most people don't live out here in LA, so they don't know that all the details about what you're talking about.
True.
So, YouTube, this website that I can post my videos from home, from my cell phone, from anywhere, I can actually shoot something there. It is an entity.
YouTube has, I believe it's 6, maybe it's one less, maybe it's a few more, studios around the world. China, I know they have one. Tokyo, I believe they have one. Los Angeles, they have one. And several other places. It's called the YouTube Space LA.
Okay.
And they have several sound stages, production facilities, equipment, everything you need.
Editing rooms?
Production facilities, everything you need to shoot, produce, and make great YouTube content. And these sound stages are enormous. Some of them are. Some of them are perfect for, the standalone videos, vlogs, everything. And they have different creative stages that they build on a rotating basis. And it's all free to use for popular channels with an established subscriber base of about 10,000. So they know that you're making good videos and that you care about your audience and that you're taking this seriously.
And that you, in turn, are bringing traffic to their website.
Yes.
Which is basically what they want, is people to keep coming to the YouTube channel.
So, considering that we're looking to give complete open access to our entire filmmaking process through both blogs and video content, YouTube is the perfect partnership for this. And they even have video on demand release capabilities now on the platform, so we could even theoretically, if it all works out correctly, release the film on YouTube. And the production company that gave you the first film to release on Facebook might even be able to follow that up with the first new content, the new feature film released for VOD on YouTube. I don't know if it's happening yet.
Made exclusively at YouTube.
Yeah, made at YouTube. Their first
That
feature
would
film.
almost be like how Netflix has Netflix original content. That would be like YouTube's original content, but it's YouTube with, Angel Baby and Grow Films, and yeah.
So that's really our ideal location to shoot the film is at the YouTube studios. But either way, you're going to be able to find all of our content and a lot of the things that we're doing and exclusive access on our YouTube page. So please subscribe and help us get to that 10,000 subscriber base. But that's really not the only place that you're going to be able to find everything.
Of course, you can still find it on our website, gratwickproductions.com.
Everything will be there. That's the home base for it all.
That's blogs, vlogs, that's videos, that's anything Chris can possibly think of, any kind of artwork. And that's also where you could get a hold of us if you want. There's a little contact us section. We always love the emails. Send us a note.
We have a weekly content calendar now that we're implementing on the Gratwick Productions website. So there's going to be new content on almost a daily basis, ranging from how-tos regarding some of the things we're doing for the film production, what we're working on, what's coming up in the next week. If we go to meetings, things like that, we're going to be recapping the stuff. You'll find out about it as we're doing it. But once again, this entire plan is going to come down to the business model and the business plan and who's going to pay for it all.
We have a unique business plan. I'm not saying that it's different in the way that, oh my god, you guys are trying something that is insane. We're actually going off of basic facts nowadays. What the not just social trends are, but what real life trends are and the way it's going from now on.
Our business plan is based on a collection of ideas, platforms, models, and everything that's already out there that's been done in one way, shape, or form, but combined and built off of each other in a way that creates a sustainable business model that we call social filmmaking.
So we are planning on February 4th to be releasing our full business plan in both document form, and Chris is going to be explaining it to you.
That's the best part, Andrea. We're going to have what I'd like to call my Elon Musk moment.
Elon Musk?
Elon Musk. Elon Musk is the co-founder of PayPal, for those that don't know. And recently, I'd say within the past year, he released a large document that was an open source plan for how to build a high-speed tube system around the entire globe for faster communications to expand business growth for pretty much the entire world.
Open source meaning?
Free for everybody. If you can make it, you got the money to make it, you got the resources to make it, take it, do it, great. Let's make the world a better place. Somebody needs to build this high-speed rail. Here's the research that we've done so far. Stand on my shoulders, take it to the next level.
All right. So that's what you're proposing to do with your business plan.
In the spirit of Elon Musk, on February 4th, we are going to release our entire social filmmaking business plan open source. I'm going to release it on our gratwickproductions.com page in a full PDF document that outlines the plan, each step, how each step builds off of the one before it, how it should be able to raise the financing, how you can make a film for this business model. I'd say is best sustainable for a $300,000 budget or less with a contained thriller and a small team or minimum locations. But I believe for micro filmmaking it could be applied across the board. And it's going to be the entire nuts and bolts of our plan. What we're going to try and do over the next several months is execute that plan and share each stage of the execution of that plan with you, how it works, what didn't work, how we can improve on it, how if you're following in our footsteps, you can improve on it. We're sharing this because we want to find the answers together. We believe in high-quality films, and we want to watch high-quality films. We don't want to just make them. So if somebody wants to follow in our footsteps or take the business model that we're sharing and apply it to their films, they're going to have to put themselves into that film and that experience and share the experience of making that film, and it's going to be their own story. So it's not any kind of threat to duplicating what we're doing, because each story and each film that gets made will be told by the team making that film, making it its own unique entity.
Wow, that's ballsy. You're just going to share it all.
Yeah, I'm sharing it with the hope that people will have the discussion. Can this work? Will it work? Is there a better way to make it work? What are they doing that could be done better? And I've tried that. Here's a better way. And I believe it's a starting point for discussion. And each filmmaker can take the pieces a la carte and apply it to what works for them best. But it's a map, so to speak, to follow that I believe if you put the right team and the right pieces in place, you could make movies over and over and over again with.
So, on the next Gratcast, it's going to be February 4th, and we're going to be releasing the full business plan in written form, and we're also going to be discussing the full business plan. So that's what our Making Just Drive, that's what that section is going to be about.
There'll be a special Gratcast released on February 4th in partnership with the PDF document and the blog post outlining the social filmmaking plan. And we're going to walk through the entire plan and dissect it right here on Gratcast from beginning to end.
Next Gratcast, we will be having the things to look forward to. Wah, wah, wah. That's down a well, just so everyone knows.
One of the other things that we have to look forward to is
our new video for our subscribe to our YouTube channel. Yes.
We're going to try and make a creative video each month that's not necessarily anything to do with the film that we're making or the behind the scenes of it at all. Just creative, funny, maybe, who knows. So besides the social filmmaking business model and talking about that, in the coming weeks we're also working on a short little YouTube video we're making called Are You Ready to Be the Next Big Time Director? It's going to be a little tiny, funny, 10-question, choose your own adventure guide through deciding whether or not you're ready to be the next big time director.
It'll be funny, it'll be informative, it'll be something everyone will enjoy checking out. This is the end of the show, people, and one of the first things we're going to learn for next show, how to wrap it up. Have a good day, have a good night, see you February 4th. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Gratwick Films, and you can also check out our other channels, The Perfect House, TPH on the Road.
According to the new Gratcast format, this brings us to the end of the show. We're probably going to get better at segues, but maybe not.
This is the wrap-up, people. Have a great night.
We'll see you on a more serious tone February 4th.